is a love or hate it thing, but there are some people that do like it when they try it for the first time. Some of them, though, you got to twist their arm to get them to try it because everybody thinks it smells so bad.
Oh, I can't stand the smell of it.
I never noticed the smell at home, but I think in the large quantities that they prepare it here and mix that in with rutabaga, then you really get an aroma.
The smell that, is indescribable, or that some people say it smells like worn out shoes.
So it usually does have like a lye smell to it, but this year they used like some different chemical on it. I don't know what it is, but it has less of an odor. So it's not quite gamey.
I tried cooking it one time, but it takes a talent to do it. Even the cat wouldn't eat it. It was so bad.
Oh, it's been good as far as I can remember.
I tried, I don't like it.
He's 4, he's been eating it since he was 2.
Sometimes it could be flaky and good, and other times it's just mushy. It's like fish jello.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's my favorite food. I won't eat my entire meal of it. I try about this much each time. And I'm working my way up.
Lutefisk dinners, excellent. This takes the top. Yeah, this is good.
The Lofoten Islands are about halfway up northern Norway, and they stick out like a finger into the ocean. They're very, very rugged, tall, and a few natural harbors, which made them useful for fisheries. It was a very important export industry for the people in the area.
Years ago, this was the way we imported our stockfish from Norway. The fish was harvested on a long line so they could pull the fish in while it was still alive, so no blood would get into the meat. But they would do that right after the fish come in the boat. They winch the line up with all the hooks, they cut the fish's head off, take the guts out. They come into shore, rinse them in salt water, basically tie the tails together and hang them on racks to dry from February through the end of July. And just the air temperatures, the humidity, and the sun and the wind would all just naturally dry it so it's hard as a board. Olson Fish Company started in Minneapolis in 1910. It was founded by some Norwegian immigrants. They successfully ran the company for a while and brought other partners in. The company survived the World War, the Great Depression, producing basically pickled herring and lutefisk. We've built the company up where we're the largest lutefisk processor for sure in North America, potentially in the world. We produce about 500,000 pounds a year. This is actually the fillets that we use now for producing lutefisk. We'll take that dried fish, we put it in a tank with fresh water for 1 or 2 days, and it just soaks, getting a little softer. We'll then add the caustic soda, which is basically the same thing as lye or sodium hydroxide.
The truth about lye, also known as caustic soda. Lye's metallic base commonly found in chemistry labs. Common uses include drain paint strip, soap, craft process paper, brown pulp bleach, hairspray, aluminum etching, alumina refining, justification, tissue dyes, biodiesel fuel production, and of course, food preparation.
That chemical is what really gets things going because it helps open up the fish's pores so it'll soak more water in. It stays in the chemicals for about 2 or 3 days, and it goes through a series of freshwater baths. You have to go through these things by hand and grab fillets. You have to be able to feel it with your thumb and your fingers when the fish is ready. There also has to be a certain amount of bend in the fish.
The majority of our lutefisk distribution is the Midwest, and you know that goes from, I would say, Wisconsin to through to Montana, which has a lot of Scandinavians in Montana too, and northern Iowa, the Dakotas, Minnesota. Every grocery store's got lutefisk during the holidays. Some of the markets, you could go into some of the big superstores and you'll find lutefisk. Super Target, Walmart, they carry our lutefisk during the holiday season too.
The order today is only 8 boxes. This is our smallest order of the season, going to St. Olaf. There you go. If you like to take a little whiff of them. That's our lutefisk. I've been told I'm the lutefisk king. I've been selling lutefisk probably for the last 45 years. Every October, November, and December they have church suppers for fundraisers. It's approximately 10 different churches that we sell the lutefisk to. And also we have 2 Sons of Norway organizations.
All the lutefisk that comes to this country goes to Olson Fish Company up in Minneapolis area, and they process it all there. They ship it out to wholesalers, and we get all our fish from Soderholm. And then there's 2 of us that cut it up. Normally Chad and Jeremy take care of that. My grandson Chad, he's been doing this since what, about 10 years old?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah,
Wow.
3 at least.
Jeremy's been 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, well, I don't like to fish, but I like marking it, so. I'm Chad Wright, CHD, WR. Shoot! Can I just hold up a card with my name on it?
There you go.
Chad Wright.
There.
Come in a box like that. And then they come in a bag and they're about like that long. Cut them in 3 parts. And then you put them in the barrels over there. And then they sit for, I think it's like 3 nights with water and salt, and you change out the water and whatnot. Twice a day you change the water.
And that's basically about it. And when we get ready to have fish, why they put it in buckets and carry it up to us.
We're at Idun Lodge, Sons of Norway in Madison, and this is our annual lutefisk dinner. We hope to serve around 500 people today. We have the best lutefisk in town and in the area. Our wonderful cooks are all members of the Greek chorus in Madison, and you may get a little song from them later.
We're just going to take a piece out just to check to see how close to done we are. Very important. This looks like she's about ready. We got to check for salt content and make sure it's done just right, and that's what we're doing now. You got the melted butter?
When you butter in Norwegian, you smør. It's called butter, and you butter things, and he knows all about it.
All right.
Lite mer salt.
A little more salt?
Yeah, but not now. Not now. When the next batch. Okay. Taste, Linda. They're using caustic soda.
That's good. Hey, I got a lutefisk on my arm here.
Yeah, we're one of the few groups that still cook it with the skin on. which is the old Norwegian way. And it holds together better, and you get just a little better quality fish. You get nice flakes, you don't have a ball of mush.
And it's really flaking off well.
Is that bucket getting filled up? Ready to be emptied again?
I hadn't had lutefisk until today. I came an hour early so I could eat before I started my work shift. And there's always that sort of fearful mystique of it, and so I wasn't sure what to expect, but it has a really mild taste. I think maybe if I had some, I'd have put some lemon on it and called it perfect, but it was fine.
The key is to not overcook it, but when you do put it on the plate, it does jiggle a little, and that's, I guess, normal to have it jiggle.
One way to have your cake and eat it too, or your lutefisk and eat it too, is to joke about how gross it is, but nonetheless you love it. I've been fascinated with jokes all my life, and a couple of years ago I published a book called So Ole Says to Lena, Folk Humor of the Upper Midwest, and not surprisingly, you know, there are a couple of lutefisk jokes in there. For example,
Ole and Sven, they were up camping in northern Minnesota, and it was in the fall, it was rather cool, and Ole needed to use the outhouse, so he ran in and he went to put his coat up on the hook, and the coat fell right down in the hole. Oh, he was disappointed, so Ole ran outside and got a big hole and was in there kind of digging around, trying to get his jacket back up out of the hole, and Sven comes in and says, Ole, what are you doing? And Ole says, well, I dropped my coat down in the hole, and Sven goes, Ole, it's not going to be any good now. Ole goes, I know, but there's a lutefisk sandwich in the pocket.
There's been lutefisk humor in this country for a long time. Right after World War I, there were a bunch of dialect comedy recordings that began to be made by commercial companies for an ethnic audience. There was a guy named Charles Boudin, who was a Swede, and he did a little comedy routine.
It travels disguised as a wood pile. I often wonder why they don't sell lutefisk by the carton instead of by the pound.
At Yalmer Rossing's store in Argyle, he used to have lutefisk stacked just like cordwood outside the door. And my grandmother used to send me down when I was about probably 8, 9 years old. She'd give me the money and I'd have to go down and bring her back some lutefisk.
It really does celebrate a tradition. You're looking at a food that kept that nation alive. It gave the Vikings and everybody ability to have a food source to go on their voyages. A lot of people brought it over here with them, as you know, the dried cod would keep indefinitely as long as it kept it dry.
You know, why would anybody go to this trouble? Once a year you eat this food, you know, it just doesn't make any sense to most people. But to Norwegian Americans, of course it does. They're very fond of the fact that they have this food symbol, which has all of these sort of horrible experiential associations. God knows it could kill you. There's lies somewhere in this process. There are aspects of all of these associations that I think Norwegian Americans feed on when they consume lutefisk.
Lutefisk, oh lutefisk, how fragrant your aroma. Oh lutefisk, you put me in a coma.
You smell so strong.
You look like glue. You taste just like an overshoe. But lutefisk come Saturday, I think I'll eat you anyway. Lutefisk, oh lutefisk, I put you by the doorway. I wanted you to ripen up just like they do in Norway.
A dog came by and sprinkled you.
I hit him with an army shoe. Lutefisk, now I suppose I'll eat you as I hold my nose. Lutefisk, oh lutefisk, now everyone discovers that lutefisk and let's mix
Norwegians better lovers.
Now all the world can have a ball.
This is Lakeview Lutheran's annual Friday lutefisk dinner. We've had it for maybe 50 years. We aren't real sure of the records.
It's all volunteers. Everybody's here. Some people take off work. Some people shorten their day at work to show up just to help out. And all of a sudden you have all these people coming together, people that you don't really know that well, and you blend in. You mix and you work together as teams, and everything just falls into place. Today starts out 6 o'clock in the morning, getting everything set up, and then we just go to town waiting on people.
Usually the day before, Nelson or a couple of guys come in and they put plastic on all the walls because the lutefisk is so sticky.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Without that, we'd be scrubbing here probably till next couple weeks.
The last 3 nights I've been cutting up lutefisk. We cut up 950 pounds of lutefisk. We have 1,200 pounds. In case we need more tonight, we'll cut it up.
We have 225 dozen sheets of lefse, roughly 6,000 meatballs that we made in one evening.
And I have been working in the pie room tonight. It's kind of my tradition. I cut up the pie and I make sure that everybody gets their pie. And mostly they don't have any room left in their stomach by the end of all that lutefisk. But
well, it's always controlled chaos. I mean, you know, whenever you do a big event like this and you try to get 1,000 people through the dining room in one day, it's there's always a few glitches, but we always seem to pull through it.
The first year I was in the butter room, and all I did was melt butter. Cooked pounds and pounds of butter. I was just like greasy for days after. They just take that butter, the melted butter, and they pour it on. You wouldn't believe it. They just pour a pitcher of butter on the lutefisk, and then wrap it up in the lefse and eat it like a taco. It's a Norwegian taco.
Bill, it averages out to over half a stick of butter, or almost a stick of butter for everybody that's here tonight. We'll use 250 pounds of butter for 1,000 people.
oh yeah, Norwegians have to have their butter.
A few years ago we fed 1,250. Last year, with our carryouts, we fed over 1,000. So it is it's getting smaller, and I think we're behind this year from what we've served last year.
We had talked about doing some blackened lutefisk, but that didn't quite go over, so.
We didn't have as many people as we hoped, but cooking went good.
I think the older generation, as they pass on, the younger generation has picked it up still and maintains the tradition, but yet just not in the volume that it used to.
My father used to fix lutefisk for Christmas, and since they passed away, we just don't have lutefisk anymore. I think the older generations are dying off, and the younger generations probably don't consume as much as the older people.
We're out here in Madison, Minnesota, lutefisk capital of the USA. We became the lutefisk capital by the fact that the suppliers of lutefisk said that they ate more lutefisk per capita here than anywhere else in the USA. And whether that's still true or not, we don't know, but nobody else has claimed the title, so we still have it.
This is number 6 in the world's top 10 eating contests on the Travel Channel. It's going to be very interesting in the guppy division. We've got 3 brothers that can take each other on, and none of them have ever tried lutefisk before. So that's going to be good. That's going to be the highlight of the night right there. The Sharks, that's the big guys that are taking on Jerry Ostris, and for those of you who are new to the community, Jerry can eat up to 8 1/4 pounds in one sitting. He's done it before, and he could do it again. I believe we have 4 in that, or 5 in that division. We just added another one. 5. So 4 challengers for Jerry Ostris tonight.
Food of champions.
The world's, and perhaps the universe, lutefisk eating champion, Jerry Ostris from Madison, Minnesota. They're going to dish up 1 pound at a time for the Sharks. When we say go, they'll get 5 minutes to eat, 3 minutes to rest. And that's how it'll go throughout the course of the night. We'll close the curtain so you don't have to watch that all the time. Have the talent show going on out here during that event. Okay, get set, start eating. Now we'll be quiet here, we'll just kind of savor the moment.
What can we say? Any comments, anything you want to say this year, Jerry?
The Lutefisk was great. I found out eating with the spoon is faster.
And the butter, right? Okay, there you go, Jerry. Thank you. Thank you for our Lutefisk.
Lutefisk is not just a food one eats for sustenance. You know, it is very much tied in with a seasonal time of year and a time when people think about their loved ones, past and present, and they may think about their connections with previous generations and their own sense of ethnicity, their connection with the old country.
We used to, back home in Norway, we used to have lutefisk for dinner every Christmas Eve. When I came over, you look for something that remind you about the old country. And we're celebrating the heritage and the culture of Norway.
I grew up in Minnesota, and the smell of lutefisk makes me cry. And not for the reason you might think, I really do. It reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of being a kid and Christmas and all the fun stuff that goes along with that. And so when I found out they did a lutefisk dinner here, I'm like, I gotta be part of that.
My father used to take us to dinners in Kaiser and Lodi and Rio and Vermont. There was one at Bethel, there was a dinner at Trinity Lutheran Church, there was one at Holy Cross. There were a lot of dinners when I was a kid growing up.
They're honoring their family by eating this food, so it brings back memories of their parents and their grandparents.
My grandparents are from Norway, and so it's always been part of my culture, my heritage. It's been important to our family. We had 6 helpings of fish.
No way! Did you eat that much? You like that lutefisk, don't you?
Don't you have more of honey? Fish too. And fish too.
Now, how much longer am I going to be lutefisking? I'll probably go on as long as I am able to. I have 2 sons in the business, and I assume they will take over doing what I'm doing.
Dinosaur. Yeah, where's that? 3 pounds? I'll do it every year until I stop. That's where we store it. So after we get it all packaged up and everything, write the weight on there, we just toss it in the freezer. So that way it's frozen and it's organized.
Looking okay. It is.
The last federal census in Wisconsin showed an increase of people claiming Norwegian heritage from the previous census, and whether it's because the population actually grew or more people became interested in reasserting their ancestry, I'm not sure, but I think this does bode well for the future of Lutefisk.
There's been a few things over the years that we've tried to do to see if it will help, spark some interest in selling some, and one of those included the frozen lutefisk dinners. The first year or two we sold a lot, but then they kind of just became a little trinket that the store would put in, and if I had my choice, I would make a lutefisk top with bacon or something like that as a value-added deal, which is very common in Norway, with a little bacon grease and crumbled bacon on the top. And, it even sounds good. I mean, everything's better with bacon on it.
My brother indicated at the meal in front of people we don't know that he wished this lasted until deer season.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good.
In the winter time, the best fish are pulled from the ocean, clean and gutted.
They're thrown over the poles.
So the winter storm and the sun and the wind give this dried fish its superb quality.
Demanded in the world market as tasty and
nutritious. The Norwegian housewife knows this and gladly serves it as a specialty. just doing this pea mush, potatoes, and melted butter. It's a delicacy for the whole family. And that's it.
Yeah.